Hey everybody. In class the last couple of days, we've been working on adding and subtracting fractions, and as you can probably guess, just like we did with decimals, we're going to move on from adding and subtracting to multiplying. Now, multiplying fractions is actually my favorite operation to do with fractions because it's the easiest. There are only 3 steps. The first step is we multiply the numerators. The second step is we multiply the denominators. And the third step is we just have to simplify our answer if necessary. Sometimes we don't have to, but sometimes we will. So let's see what this looks like in our 3 examples here. Example A, we have 3/5 times 1/6. So the first step is we multiply our numerators. 3 times 1 gives us 3. And then we multiply our denominators. 5 times 6 is 30. 3 over 30. And now our third step, simplify if necessary. And looking here, I do see a common factor. I know that 3 and 30 can both be divided by 3. So we'll divide by 3. We'll divide by 3 here. And that will give us 1. And 30 divided by 3 is 10. So 3/5 times 1/6 actually gives us 1/10. In example B, we'll do the same thing. 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 5 is 35. Might be a good idea to have a multiplication table with you while you're doing this to make these calculations nice and easy. Now, 8 and 35. 8's even, 35 is odd. I don't think there's anything we can divide these by because 35 only has 7 and 5 as factors, and 8 doesn't have either of those. So I think this is our final answer here. That one was nice. No simplification needed. And our third problem, 2 times 3 is 6. 9 times 4 is 36. And 6 and 36 have a few common factors. I'm going to divide by the largest one, the greatest common factor, which is 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 36 divided by 6 is 6. So 2/9 times 3/4 just gives us 1/6 as our answer. Not too bad, right? Now let's check out a couple of mixed number problems. 4 and 1/3 times 2 and 1/5 is our first problem. Now to do these, we can do these the same way we did addition and subtraction, which is turn them into improper fractions. So we got to do 3 times 4, multiply those, which is 12, and then we have to add 1. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 3. Denominator doesn't change. Times 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. 11 over 5. And now we multiply. Now 13 times 11, that's kind of a tricky one. That's going to give us 143. And 3 times 5 is 15. And 3 doesn't go into 143, neither does 5. So I don't think we can simplify this. I think that's going to have to be our final answer there. 143 over 15. Not the prettiest looking answer, but it's correct. Same thing here with example E. Turn these into improper fractions. Multiply and then add. 9 times 1 is 9. Plus 7 is 16, so we get 16 over 9. Times 3 times 4 is 12. Plus the numerator is 15 over 4. Now, when I multiply this, I know my denominator is going to give me 36. 4 times 9. And I might have to work out 16 times 15. 5 times 6 is 30. Carry the 3. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Add a 0 in my next row. We're done with that. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. So we get 0. 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry the 1. That gives us 2. So 240. 240 over 36. Now, I know I can divide these two numbers by the same thing. Let's divide by 6 to start, because I know I can do 36 divided by 6. Let's try that. And we'll do 240 divided by 6. So 240 divided by 6. 6 goes into 24 4 times. that's 24. We subtract that, we get 0. Bring the 0 down. 6 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 6 is 0. Subtract that, we get 0. So that actually gives us 40. So we get 40 in our denominator over 6. Ooh, and we still can go a little further. I'll divide both of these by 2. 40 divided by 2 is 20. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that one took us a little bit of work, but all we had to do was multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then simplify. So that's all the notes for tonight. Don't forget to complete your questions and your summary and submit it to Canvas. I'll see you all tomorrow.